really in trouble. One thing that the judge said to my dad was, "What do you want us to do with him?" And my dad looked at the judge and said, "I want you to send him back to Africa." At the time, I was probably 13 or 14 years old, and that would have been the worst thing that happened to me because in Africa, one thing that they believe is that when you're given an opportunity, you have to take advantage of it, right? You have to make sure that you use it to better yourself. And I wasn't doing that. So when my dad said that he was going to let me go back to Africa, I was sad because I knew that if I went back to Africa and I didn't do anything with this opportunity, guess what was going to happen? People were going to clown me, and I would have no one to blame but myself, right? So my probation officer at the time stood up and said, "You know what? Like, he has potential. I don't want to send him back to Africa. Let's send him to Adelphi." That's how Adelphi came into the picture, right? So I came here, and they didn't really have anywhere to place me, really, because I came right through CYS, right? And so when I came down here, they said, "Oh, well, what do we like put him?" So I was up here, I was up here in Vincent, and I went to SIL. And then after SIL, I started finding out like everything that I could be doing to actually better my life, but it didn't click immediately. I was still trying to cut the corners and I was still trying to do my own thing, right? It wasn't after my PO sat me down and told me, "Hey, if you don't change what you're doing, then something worse is gonna happen. We're gonna put you somewhere worse." And that's when I came to that's when I came to my senses and wanted to change, right? So I went through the SIO stuff, I made the money, I went out, got my own apartment, I was living on my own, got my own car. I was really excited, but I thought that was just it. But one thing I was missing in my life was purpose, right? What we're talking about right now, I was missing purpose. If I was doing all these things, but then I don't have a reason why I'm doing all this thing, then like, why am I even doing them? So because purpose was lacking in my life, I was partying, I was drinking, I was just being around anybody that could be around me. I wasn't choosing my friends wise, right? So it wasn't until one day I was driving from Pittsburgh from a party that everything like clicked. I was dropping somebody off, and then somebody else walked over and put a gun to my face, just like this, right? And I was holding the steering wheel was like this, and I just thought I was dead. I thought this was it. Somehow my legs got on the gas, and I went away. My friend who was with me, you know what he said? He said, "Bro, we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back with a gun, and we're gonna like." Guess where that friend is right now? He's in jail. He's fighting murder charges. Okay, so he's not coming home for a while. You know what I did that night when that happened? I started to think, man, if I would have died right there, I'm not from around here. It would have took a lot for my family to even knew that I'm dead because we don't communicate as effectively or as often as I wanted us to communicate, right? So they would have never known that I'll be dead for a long time. So I went down on my knees, man. And this is something that I did. I went down on my knees and I said, "God, like, what is my purpose? Like, why am I here? Like, am I here to just live, die, and go to hell? Like, what is my purpose?" And after that, a lot of things started happening in my life that kind of aligned with what my purpose is. A lot of times we don't realize it, but your purpose, like everything you're going through right now, everything you guys have been through, your purpose is tied into it. You being in this place, your purpose is tied into it. But what happens is you have to kind of pray for your eyes to be able to see it. Because sometimes we can be blinded, right? By the things that's happened in our lives. We don't like to feel pain as human beings. So whenever we're feeling pain, what do? We try to like tell ourselves like, "Oh, this is not," we blind ourselves. We blind ourselves to the pain so we don't have to feel it. So we don't see beyond that. And that's what you have to do to actually know what your purpose is. You have to see beyond what's happening right now. I couldn't do it. There was not really a lot of people telling me I could do it or how to do it. When I was in Adelphi, the things that I was learning were actually setting me up to actually start being like that, start seeing into the future. Things like goal setting, right? Setting a goal. Things like making a contract, right? Do you guys still do contracts, by the way? Right. The purpose of that, right, is so you can earn what it is that you want. That's not gonna end here. When you go out there in the world, you're gonna have to make a contract with yourself. What am I gonna do? How much money am I gonna save, right? Where do I wanna go to school, right? Who do I wanna marry? You have to have all this contract that those decisions, the choices that you make are gonna shape the entirety of your life. But right now, you're like in a practice run, right? Zach and I were here around the same time, and he would tell you, this is practice. Whatever you take here, you will use for a long time if you're serious about using it, right? So for me, after I came to the realization that like, okay, my purpose is to actually to like give the experiences and everything that I've learned in my life, right? To give to other people, that's when doors for me started actually opening. They just distracted us again, it's okay. That's when doors for me started actually opening, right? I started actually using like my mind. I decided I wanted to use what Adelphi was giving, the two free year of education. So whatever you want to pursue, you can pursue it for 2 years for free. So I did that. I went 2 years at 3Cs. I graduated with my like associate. And then I went to Seton Hill University where I graduated with my bachelor's, right, in social work. And then now I'm working on my master's. And now I'm working with an organization called the Union Mission as a case manager, and I actually help people older than me and you that have been to jail, that have like, you know, drug and alcohol issues, that have mental health, or, you know, that have like stuff that's stopping them from being successful. We help them, you know, find jobs. We help them set goals. But that I feel will never happen if I didn't go through what I went through here in Adelphi, right? And so, again, where am I right now? I'm married, I have a wife, I have 3 kids, right? Starting a business, finishing up my master's. I'm telling you guys all this not for you to be like, oh, you're doing good. It's for you to know that you can do it, because I was sitting where you were sitting. Right? I was just looking at my situation. I was looking at the things that was happening to me right now, and not realizing that like life goes like this. You're not going to be here forever. They're going to leave, and you're going to move on with your life. You can allow whatever it is that you've been through to be your identity, or you can use it to actually like, you know, make something out of yourself so you can influence other people around you. Does that sound good? So for me being here, I just want to empower you guys. I want you guys to know, right, what helped me and how it can help you. And I wrote some things down that I'm gonna read. I wrote some things down that I'm gonna read. And this is a list of everything that's helped me. This is my mindset. This is the thing that gets me through every single obstacle that I face in my life, okay? And if it sticks out to you, you can write it down and you can use it. If it doesn't, don't worry about it, right? So the first thing is choosing my friends wisely. Choosing my friends wisely. Why is this important? Yes, sir.
Because of hanging around the wrong friends, they can lead you down the wrong path.
That's absolutely true. Your friends actually will determine what you're going to become. If you surround yourself with people that own businesses, that are trying to better themselves, guess what you're gonna start doing eventually? You're gonna start thinking like, I wanna own my own business. I wanna do this, I wanna do that. But if you're hanging around people that are bums, that just, you know, wanna smoke, drink, or whatever, guess what you're gonna start thinking about? That. Suddenly, right? At first you're like, oh, I'm never gonna be like that, but the more you expose yourself to it, you eventually start doing what you do. So choose my friends wisely. Secondly, always be kind to people. You never know what's going on in someone else's life. This has helped me a lot because it's taken me out of myself. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do they still teach you guys about empathy? You know what empathy is? Who wants to be the genius and tell me what empathy is? All right. That's integrity.
Oh, no,
That's
that's
good
good
too.
to you, showing, you're showing that you are something. Yeah,
That's perfect.
Putting yourself in someone else.
That's perfect. No, that's perfect, right? They're not just teaching you guys this because it's something to teach you guys. It's something that's gonna help you for the rest of your life. You're gonna deal with people. And if you wanna be a good leader, you wanna be successful in anything you do, you have to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. What that does, it makes your world so much bigger. It opens the world up for you, right? Next. Always ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? If you're doing something that's not producing the result that you want, you can always pause and you can ask yourself, why am I doing this? Right? Next, don't take the people that love you for granted. Who believes that one day they'll die? And what should that do for you? Yes.
Motivate you.
Should motivate you to what? To motivate you to appreciate the people, right? To appreciate all the lessons that come to you, all the lessons that's coming to you that you're learning through Adobe, that you're learning through your staff. See those people back there, your staff? You know what I call them? Cheat sheets. You get to cheat in life simply because you have them. They can tell you things that you want to know. Hey, I'm thinking about being this. Like, what do you think about this? Then you'd be like, oh, your staff can actually give you wisdom as to different like lessons that you want to learn, right? But if you're not using them, if you're not letting them work for their money, they're getting paid regardless. You have to let them work for their money by asking them questions, not giving them a hard time. Because who's that hurting?
Just us.
Yourself. That's it. But if you're asking them questions, who's that helping? Yourself. Yes. So if you're wise, you're only wise for yourself. And if you are foolish, you alone will suffer. I've never seen a casket having two people in it. It's only one. You're only responsible for your life. Doesn't matter what has happened. What matters right now is what you're doing with what you have, right? You guys know there's you're driving a car, there's a windshield, there's a rear view, right? What does the windshield represent? Yes, the bigger picture represents your future. And the rear view represents what?
Past.
Your past. Do you see how small that rear view is? Your past is so tiny compared to like what's in front of you. You can't look at what's going on, what's happening in your life and determine if you're gonna be successful or not. You have to look ahead. And one way of looking ahead when you guys are here is by picking the brains of all these people that are trying to dedicate themselves to actually like guiding you guys, right? You have to take it to heart. Not everybody has them. Not everybody has that guidance, right?
Yeah.
So lastly, actually I have two more. God exists and he loves me and gives me grace and mercy. That's something I've learned in my life. Who knows what grace means?
We just have to.
Huh?
I said we learned that when I do it, I just remember.
Really? Grace. What's grace?
Yeah.
So think about it, grace, this way. I walked up to you to shake your hand and you slapped me.
I said respectful.
Yeah. But then I called the cops and I said, he slapped me. You get arrested.
You get a charge.
Yes, and then you go to jail. I mean, you go to jail for the night, and then your court date comes, and the judge is saying your testimony is going to put him in jail for a long time. I come in and I said, Instead of saying, Your Honor, man, he deserved to go to jail. He slapped me so hard, I saw fire, like my head hurt, everything hurt, right? Now, I can say that to the judge, but I go in and say this, Your Honor, he must have been going through a lot that day. Even though it hurt that he actually slapped me, but I feel like that's not really who he is, and I feel like he has the ability to do better. So I'm asking you to allow him to go free, allow him to a second chance to do better, right? What is that? Grace. That's grace, because you deserve what? Freedom. Deserve punishment, but you got freedom. That's grace. Well, so you had your hand up. Forgiveness, same thing. So, and lastly, believing in yourself. You have to believe in yourself if you're going to be successful. Guys, this is not just me talking, this stuff works. You have to adopt it as like a mindset if you want to get out of, one place into another. I'm gonna leave some room for some questions. Anyone has questions?
They might be waiting outside, I don't know.
Anybody to go already?
Yeah, I'm sorry,
It's okay.
we're over on time.
Thank you for listening, guys. And